meteorologist Dan Cainca. I know you were talking about changes, though, coming our way.
Yeah, we've got some changes on the way for our weather pattern, although it's going to take some time for it to develop. So could we be talking about some rain? I guess that's a good question, too. And the answer is maybe next week. But in the meantime, let's talk about last month. I know we like to go behind very often, but I wanted to share with you these rainfall totals now that they're in for all locations for the month of September. So these are from climate sites across the region. And I want you to look first off at this normal column. This is how much rain we typically get in these locations during the month of September, which is not much, right? A few hundredths of an inch here or there. That usually comes from drizzle. It may come from a very light early season weather system, but we had a very heavy early season weather system that brought some good rainfall to most of our coastal areas. Some inland areas didn't get all that much. And kind of odd also, Salinas, for example, the airport only got 7/100 of an inch, but if you live on the north side of town, we got a ½ an inch of rain just in that one day. So looking at some of the totals for the month of September, Salinas typically gets 0.05 inches. We got 0.07 at the airport, which is 140% of normal. Kind of a meaningless number really at that point. But look at some of these other readings. Monterey, over an inch of rain in the month. Same in Watsonville. And you know, you were over 2,000% of normal, right? Gilroy, almost a ½ an inch of rain at about 1,000% of normal. King City, even 2/10 of an inch of rain at about 300% of normal. And Ben Lomond with 1.5 inches of rain at about 1,300% of normal. So we started off our rainy season pretty wet, but it doesn't mean we're going to finish wet. I mean, anything could happen this winter. We've got La Nina, which typically leads to slightly drier than normal years for a third year in the row, which isn't very promising. So for now, we're ahead of schedule, but don't get too excited about it. Let's talk about what could change, though. Here's a ridge of high pressure to our south. That's dominating our weather for the next couple of days. So we're going to see more of the same with our compressed marine layer, warm temperatures inland, cool, and maybe a little bit foggy on the coast at times. This isn't going to move all that much. The ridge still sitting here. It's these big orange blob, finally moving a little bit farther to the west as we head through the weekend. Why that is interesting is because the farther west it goes, the more likely we are to see something sneak in from the north. And I think you're going to see that happen as we go forward. It may take some time, but here we go. Monday into Tuesday, into the Pacific Northwest comes a trough of low pressure, an area of low pressure, sneaking down into Northern California by the time we head to the latter portion of next week. Now, low pressure in the northern hemisphere, well, the wind rotates around that counterclockwise, so we're talking about this direction. So if it's to our north, we have winds that come onshore, so westerly winds. That brings cool, cloudy conditions and even some moist conditions. So as that happens next week, starting as early as Tuesday, we can start to see some drizzle and maybe even some light rain. Typically, the systems don't have a lot of moisture associated with them, so a lot of times the best we get out of them is drizzle, but it's possible we could see some light precipitation. The bad thing is if we're on the north side of this, and much of Northern California maybe, you have that dry offshore flow. And it could get windy, and that could increase fire concerns. So it's something we're watching as we head into next week. I know it's a long ways away, and a lot can change in between now and then, but it's something that we've got our eyes on. In the meantime, as I mentioned, our pattern not going to change all that much. The cycle of low clouds in the mornings and the evenings, and then hugging the coast during the day, especially on the south side of the bay, that's going to continue for the next couple of days, including tomorrow. So watch out for patchy fog tomorrow morning. We'll clear out in Santa Cruz first tomorrow. Inland areas clear out, low clouds hang around the south side of the bay. We're not going to see too much difference in our temperatures either. Here's what I'm expecting for your highs, well, lows and highs tomorrow. Back to 87 in Ben Lomond, 84 in Scotts Valley, mid-70s in Santa Cruz, in the Capitola and Soquel area, right around 70 degrees. You'll be a little warmer the farther north you go. As we head to the east shore of the bay, ranging from the 70s up to Aptos to mid-60s in Marina. Both Watsonville and Salinas in the low 70s, but mid to upper 80s in our northern inland valleys. Over to the peninsula, expecting highs mostly in the 60s. Again, you'll have some clouds hanging around throughout the day with a high of 67 in Monterey. And then farther south, well, we'll have that contrast again with 77 in Gonzales and upper 70s in Carmel Valley, but mid-90s as we head into our southern valleys, most of the Salinas Valley in the 80s. As we head to the next 7 days, temperatures staying pretty consistent, maybe even a little bit warmer on the coast as we head through Saturday. Then we'll cool down with that stronger onshore flow. I have marked drizzle possible on Tuesday, and we're watching for Wednesday as that system really starts to move through. Probably upgrade this to windy onshore conditions right now. Most of my models are showing 15 miles per hour. Once we start getting to the 20s, though, and which will probably change, I might just change that anyway. As we look at our inland forecast, you'll see temperatures kind of peak toward the end of the week and then also head down. Look at those inland highs by Wednesday of next week. We're only looking at upper 60s. We'll be right back after this.